Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with YouTube, Get Rich with Crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. And in this video, I am thrilled to have a team member from a brand new project that I'm really, really excited about, that I've already covered, and I want to find out more about this, and so do you. So watch this.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Apollo have produced the ultimate hardware wallet for your cryptocurrency assets, probably the most secure hardware wallet going. Use my affiliate link and the code for a discount. Please follow me on Twitter and join my official Telegram announcements channel. Also, please follow me on bittube.video. You can also follow me on Odyssey. These are both censorship-resistant platforms, and every now and then I am going to post a video which isn't going to be on YouTube. Hey, Jake, thank you so much for making yourself available.
Hey, what's up?
Yes, you are one of the team at Junochain, which is a project born out of the Cosmos what's it, galaxy or something, right? I'm sure there's some sort of word.
We call it the ecosystem, Cosmos ecosystem.
Cosmos ecosystem. I was looking for something suitably astronomical, but I couldn't come up with anything.
We call it the Cosmos, you know. So
okay, well, something. All right. Well, part of the Cosmos ecosystem, Junochain, and you recently launched and listed on Osmochain. I've already done a couple of videos on Junochain, and I think there's very, very high APR returns for staking it. So, I invite people to go and watch those videos and go get yourself some Juno after you've done your own due diligence. But tell me, what is it you do at Junochain?
I'm part of the core dev team. So I'm one of the core contributors to Juno. I write code.
Okay.
I help advise a lot of projects that are working on really cool dApps for Junochain. So we have projects that are building dexes, NFT marketplaces, DAOs, even things like we have one team, I don't know how far they are, but they're starting to build a tornado cash thing, like a mixer. We have people that are exploring doing lending stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I help a lot of those teams figure out their idea and find people. And then I run the Hack Juno competition. I know that's a lot, but
no, that's good. That's good because it gives a sense of what's to come. Now, the way that I understand Juno, Juno is the coin or the token of the Junochain. The way I understand Junochain is like Ethereum is. It's but for the Cosmos ecosystem. So it's a smart contract platform protocol. Is that correct?
Yes, it is a permissionless smart contract protocol.
Right, a
permissionless smart contract chain.
Okay, but there's some things that are
it's permissionless.
I just wonder, is there a time lag?
I think there is a lag. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No problem. It's not to do with you. The internet isn't as fast as Cosmos assets, right? But there you go. So just if you're watching this, there is a slight time lag, but please, we just have to include that because you are very far away from where I am. So there's a couple of things that I think make Junochain kind of special. So one, it's part of the Cosmos ecosystem. And the thing for me about Cosmos projects, which I've covered like DVPN, Akash, Persistence, Osmosis, is they're incredibly, incredibly fast. Transaction speeds are really fast, very, very smooth, very low cost. Very low gas fees, ridiculously low gas fees. So it makes it very user-friendly and really beautiful to look at. Every single Cosmos project that I've looked at, I was like, oh my God, what a beautiful website. What a beautiful website. And it seems like the tech is a match to that. As far as I can tell, at least my experience as a user. And I've been staking Osmo and Juno and DVPN and Secret and Persistence and Atom. It's just very, very high quality. You have to forgive my my lack of tech speak here, right? But it's just really, really good, right? As I become fabulously inarticulate. So that's one thing. The other thing is that it's interoperable with other blockchains. Now, this bit I don't understand, but could you just say what makes Junochain so special or distinct from other smart contract protocols?
So there's a couple of things. One of which is it uses a language or a framework called CosmWasm. So I'm really technical, and tell me to back up if.
I like the name CosmWasm. Right, that'll do.
Yeah. So a lot of chains are just using the EVM, so they just clone the EVM and then they clone all the projects on the EVM. But if you've written any Solidity before, and I wrote my first Solidity back in 2016, Solidity is an absolutely terrible language,
Right.
And it has a lot of like really kind of big limitations to it, and it's not very great for developers. For example, it's really easy to code a bug called a reentrancy attack that can lead to a large amount of funds being lost. In fact, the very first hack on Ethereum was a reentrancy attack, and there's nothing in the compiler to check for these kinds of mistakes that could lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
Wow. Okay. And then what makes CosmWasm so special? Oh, by the way, I just want to say for EVM is it Ethereum virtual machine?
Yes. Sorry. I speak acronyms. I speak lingo, but yeah. So what makes CosmWasm special is it's first of all, many different types of languages can compile the CosmWasm. So right now we have our smart contracts written in Rust, because Rust is a very secure, type-safe language that's great for writing high-value like smart contracts. But in the future, we're also looking at support for languages like Golang, TypeScript. These are languages developers already know. So, one of the problems with like blockchain devs these days is like you want to hire like Solidity devs for your project, and there's only like, less than 1,000 really good people out there, that know that language. And to know Solidity, you really have to know the EVM. But, with Wasm, it'll free it up so that you can hire like any good Rust programmer, any good Golang programmer, any really good TypeScript programmer, and they won't have to learn an entirely new language to code smart contracts.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what I understand from this, so any programmer because Rust is used in non-blockchain applications, and same with Golang, can then start writing code for CosmWasm. But if they wanted to use an EVM type smart contract, that programmer would need to learn and get good at Solidity.
Yeah. And to get good at Solidity, you really have to learn how the EVM works,
right?
Or how the Ethereum virtual machine works. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand Solidity. So.
Okay, so let me think of this, right? So I'm fluent in English, so I could easily transfer over to understanding American or Canadian English, which is a different language, and possibly even Pakistani English, which is also a different language. But if I spoke, say, if I wanted to move over to Russian Cyrillic, I'd have to learn a whole new alphabet and a whole new syntax structure. So
yeah.
Yes. Okay. There you go. There's a little allegro for you. Okay. So that's
one advantage. There are performance improvements. Wasm is like, a very efficient execution environment. It's been worked on for years by the likes of, very big tech companies. Actually, Wasm runs in your browser right now today. So it's been highly optimized for security and also efficiency, which is great. So you get some really cool performance improvements. You can do things in Wasm smart contracts that you literally just cannot do with Solidity. So this is a technical, but feel free to push back on me.
Sure.
So you can have like in Solidity, you can have these things called maps. So you like a map is you would like take an address and that maps in like the blockchain data store to a value. Mm-hmm. There's no way to like iterate over all the maps in Solidity. But in CosmWasm, you can write a function that will like give you all the values and like iterate through the values in like a map. There's another thing that's supported is like an indexed map. So in like databases, we have like indexed columns, and that can mean you can like query things like in a much more efficient kind of way. And again, that's just not possible in Solidity, but CosmWasm, gives us this like right out of the box. And right. So the kind of data stuff that you can do with smart contracts with CosmWasm is insanely cool. And moreover, you can just use any Rust library. Well, not any, but like a large amount of Rust libraries. So say you've got a really cool idea for like an art project that uses a smart contract, and you want to use some crazy math library. Well, you can just import that crazy math library from Rust, from like the crates.io, and use it in your project.
Right. Okay, so it's way more adaptable.
All that to Solidity. So
okay, so way more adaptable, way more flexible, way more functions, including some very complex functions. Okay, so that's what makes one of the things that makes CosmWasm just what a great name, CosmWasm. So Sounds like something like a toddler came up with, right? Daddy, let's call that CosmWasm.
I actually don't like the name. I think it sounds pretty silly, but I think it's a great framework. It's the best smart contracting framework out there. But I'm not a fan of the name. I think it sounds.
I think it's really entertaining. I think it's a great name. So it's either childish or magical. It's got magical qualities to it. But anyway, moving on from the name. Then the other issue is that it's interoperable. Now, what does that look like? What do you mean by that?
So, are you familiar with IBC, or Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol?
Yeah, this is how I understand it. Okay, as a layperson, right? So, what the Cosmos ecosystem is essentially a series of blockchains that are able to communicate with each other. Each is independent, doesn't exert any extra load, like distinct, say, from the Ethereum blockchain, and then you've got all these different ERC20s living on top of it.
Yeah.
Right. And they exert a load, and everything has to go through the Ethereum blockchain, and it creates congestion and high gas fees. But with the IBC, you got these independent blockchains all talking to each other as they freely do. The thing that I can't get was, how can they be independent and still be the same? How come? Because Bitcoin and Litecoin are independent of each other, but they don't communicate with each other. You have to use bridges, like an Ethereum bridge or something. So it doesn't make any sense to me. So could you try and explain that?
Sure. All right. This gets also into pretty technical stuff, but I'll try my best.
Sure.
So IBC is a standardized protocol that's been formally proven, and it's been adopted by a large amount of chains, including it's getting some interest from chains outside of the Cosmos ecosystem. So for example, there is a Polkadot substrate module that implements the IBC protocol. I don't know if you know much about Polkadot, but that's a pretty cool thing. The way IBC works is there are 2 light clients on each chain. So each chain effectively runs a light client of the other chain on the chain itself. So I don't know if you're familiar with light clients, but basically they have some mathematical proof of the other chain's state. And then the chains, we have these things called relayers that pass, and anything can be a relayer. It doesn't have to be. It's not like a special entity. Bridges today, the Ethereum to Avalanche bridge, for example, are controlled by one private key, or a multi-sig, or some sort of trusted third-party service. With IBC, again, each chain has a light client on it, so each chain can prove cryptographically whether messages actually came from the other chain. Mm-hmm. And they can prove cryptographically that the messages coming from the other chain are valid. And so then anyone can relay messages from one chain to another. You could technically write an app that would when you submit a transaction, your wallet on your phone or whatever would actually relay that message for you to the other chain. But in Cosmos, there's typically these things called relayers, and they relay packets between chains.
That's amazing. That would account for how come it's so smooth and fast and low gas.
It's also trustless too. Is anyone can set up a connection to another chain, and as long as you trust the other chain, if you connected to a chain that was not very trustworthy and you sent Atom over there, there's a chance that you might not get it back. But if you trust the chain, so Atom to Osmosis, that's a very, very secure, mm-hmm. 2 very secure chains. So
okay, there's something that I'm getting from this, right? So Bitcoin is a whole other paradigm from fiat currency. People, who are familiar with the fiat currency model, I certainly struggle to understand, what do you mean decentralized money? It's all over the place. Right. Yeah. And then Ethereum is a whole other paradigmatic shift from Bitcoin. For me anyway, right? It's what, you can build things on Ethereum? It's not just a value transfer? And then what you're saying sounds to me, or it seems to me, that IBC is a whole other paradigm shift, or a technological advance from Ethereum, which built on Bitcoin's technological advance, which built on BitTorrent's technological advance. That's what I understand. And then I just have I know about paradigm shifts, that sometimes it takes a while to get my head around, or to get into that. I have to get into that paradigm to understand it. Okay, so thank you. I do think it's a paradigm shift. And like you said earlier, it allows for,
you can have thousands of these chains, and those 1,000 chains can like together process like billions of transactions per second.
Yeah. Who came up with it?
That's a really good question. I mean, like, I think it was Ethan Buckman like wrote a lot of like the white paper, and then Jay Kwan, one of the original founders of Tendermint, also like contributed to that white paper, and there were others as well. Honestly, like Chris Goes, he like did a lot of the initial like code and like formal verification stuff, if I remember correctly. He'd be a great person to like get on the show if you really want to get into like super technical details. Jack Zamplin did a lot of work getting IBC out the door and shipping one of the first like the Go IBC relayer. And then Zaki was also like, so yeah, just like a lot of people at Tendermint. I'm really sorry if I forgot anybody, but
no, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
It wasn't even just Tendermint. Like the folks at Agoric, which is another great project you should try to get on the show. They contributed a ton of stuff. And they have like an immense amount of like expertise. Like they were arguably doing smart contracts back in the 80s before they were called smart contracts.
Wow. Okay. I got it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you.
IBC is really deep. We could go a lot deeper there, but as it relates to Juno, one of the cool things you can do with Juno is you can make smart contracts that call into other blockchains. Like,
okay.
Let me
an example.
I think this is something that's like really new. That's like only like recently possible. But you could make a contract on Juno, and you send like Juno to that contract, and it sends it off to Oasis to like swap it for something else, and then deposits that something else in like something like Anchor Protocol on Terra, and then like it's like, so you're making a contract that can like programmatically like call into and do stuff on other chains over IBC.
Wow. Okay, so I could have a contract that performs a particular function, say on Junochain, and then that contract, that feature, I can then send to do something on DVPN.
The contract itself can, for example, call like send funds over to DVPN for you and stake them.
And stake them at DVPN. So then, so if, for example, I created that because it's an open source code, right? So if I created that function, then it would be I could just stake from one place. I wouldn't have to keep scrolling through my Kepler wallet, for example, right? Possibly. But it would be able to call. I'm just trying to understand how I'm working over here on this blockchain, and I'm able to execute functions on this other blockchain. Like I'm on this planet, I'm on planet Earth, and I can carry out functions on Mars or Mercury.
Yeah, so in Cosmos, you're not directly calling a function, you're passing messages.
Right.
So the contract is sending IBC messages to the other chain that instruct like doing certain things, for example, like staking an asset or withdrawing staking rewards and sending them to a new place.
Okay, so that's the smart contract interoperability. Is there anything else that you want to let us know that makes Junochain distinct or special?
I think that it's permissionless. So, actually, Terra uses like CosmWasm as well, and they're actually good, contributors to that ecosystem. And one of the reasons why I think it's going to be like the smart contract like framework of the future. But Terra is like permissioned, so you can't just like upload any smart contract you want to Terra. There's some others like Tardigrade from Confio is their chain. That is also like a permissioned like DeFi chain. Very, very cool project, and Confio has done a ton of work to like get this stuff out the door. So I really appreciate them. Like my another project that in fact my main project that I work on is called Stargaze, and we're doing like really cool stuff around like NFTs. And we use CosmWasm as well, but again, it's like permissioned. So like contracts have to be voted on by governance. But the cool thing about Juno is that anyone can upload any smart contract. There's no approval process. There's no governance. In that sense, it's kind of like the wild, wild west for smart contract development, but it's also kind of like a neutral zone. Another really cool thing about Juno is there was no VC funding. There was no pre-sale. It was just completely a community effort. So
where did the money come from?
It came from volunteers just working for free.
I got it. All right. And then the coin Juno launched via an Atom airdrop.
Yep.
which is how come I got some Juno, and actually is how come I got some Osmosis. I bought Atom about over a year ago, just on a whim. I hardly knew anything about it. I thought, oh no, I'll buy some Atom. I've heard a few good things, and I'll just sit on it. And I was staking it in my Exodus wallet, and then like, oh my god. Then I actually tried it out when Osmo launched. So it's like, wait, that punk worked out well. So it's launched by airdrop, and people can still claim it. Is there any time limit on claiming the Juno from Atom?
Okay. No time limit. So.
All right. And then you mentioned right at the beginning about different applications that are being built. What sort of, can you talk about some of those applications? What's the future that's rolling out?
Yeah, so my friend Ben 2x4 is actually building a DEX on Juno.
Mm-hmm.
It's in many ways similar to like Osmosis or Uniswap or whatever, but it's all written in CosmWasm smart contracts. And I think we'll like wind up doing some really cool, very innovative things. And it's going to be, I think, especially focused on the tokens that are going to be launching on Juno. Mm-hmm. Another project that's really cool is called Juno Mint. Oh, and the DEX is called Juno Swap, or currently it's called Wasm Swap. But another cool project is called Juno Mint, and that allows people to easily like create their own token. We have an NFT marketplace called CosmWasm, which is really cool. I have a group that's working on a lot of DAO tooling, so allowing people to create like really powerful decentralized autonomous organizations that can basically do anything you can do in Juno, including sending IBC messages, like holding a shared treasury, like instantiating contracts on behalf of the DAO. Mm-hmm. We have a large list of like contracts such as like multi-sig contracts, NFT contracts, token contracts, that some people have already built like UIs for and stuff. We have a name service, which is like a name registry kind of thing. There's so many, it's hard to keep track.
Wow. Is there a central point where people can find out information on these?
We're building a website for launch. So like, currently all these projects are operating on our testnet. And we want to get them like kind of like audited and stuff before they go live on mainnet. But we do, for the code is open source for like basically all these projects. So like
people can check.
Yeah, and we're building a website to list them all. So
okay,
I think that's in the works. There might be like a first version, but if I can go find the link and try to like give it to you so you can include it in the chat.
That would be good.
But if not, if you follow @Juno Network on Twitter, you're sure to like, you won't miss the announcements. Like that's actually my biggest recommendation for people is just follow @Juno Network on Twitter, and then you just when these new projects launch, you'll like be like the first to know about them. And when that site is ready that lists all the different projects that are building, you'll find out about that. And when sorry.
No, I get it. I'll have the links in the description below. Juno Network, the Twitter account, and the other stuff for Junochain and everything, including the Telegram group. Now, these projects, are they going to launch by airdrops for Juno holders or Atom or different ways?
One is going to do their own different thing.
Okay, so, all right. No problem.
Some of them might not have tokens. Some of them will have tokens. And I think we're trying to convert. We want to encourage people to do a large variety of different things. Like I'm really excited about airdropping to people that delegate to smaller validators. So anyone that delegates to a validator that's not in the top 10 is helping decentralize the network. And so I'm thinking about like encouraging some teams to like, airdrop to people that delegate to smaller validators because they're actually helping decentralize things. So.
Right. Okay. Now I want to talk about the Juno coin. It is a coin, right? Or is it a token?
I like token versus coin, but
Okay, all right. I want to talk about the Juno token. What purpose does it serve within Juno?
It's used for paying gas in the Juno network. So when you call a smart contract, there are fees associated with it because there's a lot of compute that has to happen for it, and that's called gas. Now, granted, it's a lot lower than like many other chains out there. And it's going to be extremely cheap, but there still has to be some sort of payment. You know,
Sure.
technically it's possible to do zero fee stuff, but I think it gets weird with like smart contracts in particular because you don't want people spamming the network.
Yeah, and then it's not secure. It's not secure that way. Okay. Now, if for an application that builds on top of the Juno chain or uses the Juno chain, am I still going to need Juno? You know, like I need ETH for a function with an ERC20 project.
Yes. That until we like currently that's like the plan. We might figure out some way to like allow for like gas payments and other tokens. But for now, today, like yes, you're gonna need Juno to pay gas. So,
Okay. And then anything else about the Juno token in terms of any other qualities? And then I also want to talk a bit about the incentives that are coming out for people to hold Juno.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about those. I mean, those are definitely qualities. But yeah, it's a token. You can stake it. It's a staking token, which is really cool.
Right, and eventually, I think when I looked yesterday, it was about 172% APY, and it will drop down eventually to 40%.
Yeah, well, actually, so right now, so one of the cool things about Juno is it has a fixed inflation schedule. Mm-hmm. So in the first year, inflation is going to be 40%, and it's not higher than that. The reason it's higher in the UI is because not all of the Juno is staked. So like Juno is on a programmed path to like its eventual like end supply target, which is on the GitHub, which will be a link, but I kind of forget what it is.
It's in 12 years time, I think.
Yeah, I think it's like 180 million or whatever.
Yeah,
or something like that. I think it might even less. But like every year, inflation like drops. So in the first year, inflation's at 40%. Next year, it's going to be, and again, this is after a year of a chain, so not January 1st. So like next October 1st, it's going to drop to 20%. The year after that, it drops to 10% inflation. And then after that, it kind of like slows down a little bit and like goes to like 8%. And, the exact schedule is like on the GitHub, which will be in a link below. But that's actually a really cool feature of the chain is that like sort of like Bitcoin, like it's on a pre-programmed like kind of set path with regards to inflation.
Yep. Okay. And then as more and more dApps are built on the Juno chain, there's going to be more and more demand for the Juno token. So there you go. So I imagine it'll be increase in value. I imagine, but
I don't do financial advice.
Not financial advice, I understand, and not mine either. Right? People really should check it out. But now, can you tell us a little bit about these incentives?
So right now we do have staking rewards. So if you stake your Juno token, you get, inflation rewards. So they're called staking rewards. So that's the number that you see in your like little Kepler wallet.
Mm-hmm. It's not in Kepler wallet yet because it's the Juno.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be there soon. Where we have a PR open for that, and we're talking with the Kepler team.
Yeah,
they're actually really busy and focused on their mobile Kepler launch, which is going to be a really exciting thing. So look out for that. Kepler mobile apps are coming, and I have a preview version. And it's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be added to Kepler soon, but there's some other sites, and I'll try to get you those links too, where you can like easily stake your Kepler with the UI. I'm the kind of person that just uses the command line because I'm weird. But,
no, you're not weird. You're highly knowledgeable when it comes to tech, right? I just want a simple GUI. I couldn't do online code.
But that, do you understand what so the inflation is capped at 40%, but right now I think only like 15% or like between 10 and 15% of the network is like staking right now. So that means that all that 40% inflation is going into like that 10 or 15% stakers. And so that's why you see the numbers you do.
Yep, which are very nice numbers. Okay. And then the liquidity pool mining, or is that something to do with Osmosis?
Yes. So Osmosis has, liquidity mining. And so if you provide liquidity to the Juno Osmo or Juno Atom pools, you will, on October 15th, because that's when the governance proposal passes, you will earn Osmo token for that. But you will also earn, like we just actually like put up a proposal to add Juno incentives as well. So 1 million Juno will actually be used as additional incentives for the Juno Osmo and the Juno Atom pools. And so you'll actually earn both tokens by being a liquidity provider in Osmosis.
Okay.
which is pretty cool. And then Sifchain also launched. Sifchain has very high rewards in their Rowan token for their Juno pools. And then we don't have additional Juno's incentives for them yet because we're kind of very focused on Osmosis. But I imagine down the line that could be a possibility as well. So
yeah. And just remind everybody, I had an interview. I published an interview with Jazir from Sifchain, which is up on my channel if you want to find out about Sifchain. I've not been able to reach the Osmo team yet. They've not responded to my request for an interview, Jake.
That's because they're so busy, They're also really popular, so.
Yes, I got it. Okay. And then any plans? What are the plans for it to go on Emeris?
We're talking with them and we're kind of working that out. So it's going to happen. It's going to be on Emeris.
Okay. All right.
It's just hard, when you launch a chain and then just trying to find enough liquidity. There's a decent amount of liquidity on Osmosis. I think 3.5 or 7 million last time I checked. But that's it's still pretty tiny, so we need to get more liquidity. I think rewards will definitely help getting liquidity in the Osmo Juno pool and the Atom Juno pool. And then after that, I think we'll be able to put more focus on getting Emeris and stuff. But
Okay, I got it. Do you want to say what's on the roadmap that we haven't already covered?
We have a big upgrade coming soon that will officially launch all the smart contract stuff, and then we'll have all the dApps live at that point too. That's called the Moneta upgrade, and that's probably going to happen at least I'm hoping for a couple weeks, but that might be insanely optimistic. So maybe a month, but definitely by end of Q4. And then that'll also see the launch of all these dApps like Juno Swap, and some DAOs are going to launch, which are going to be really cool. And CosmWasm and some of these other really cool projects. So.
All right, very cool. Okay, is there anything else, Jake, you want to let us know that we haven't covered already?
We have this ongoing. So one of the things we did that was really cool is called Hack Juno, and I think I was talking with the team early on, months and months ago, about okay, great, we're launching this new smart contract chain, and there's going to be nothing on it. How do we solve that problem? And I was like, what if we just set aside 1% of all tokens, and we just gave them to people that build dApps on the platform? Then we kind of iterated on that idea, and that number grew to almost 4% of all tokens. And then we launched it and made some announcements about it, and the response has been absolutely amazing. The quality of projects we've seen, if you go on the Twitter feed and you look at Wasm Swap UI, and just all these projects that are building on Juno is just absolutely incredibly inspiring to see. And we've had it's been really cool to watch. So that's actually still ongoing. So if you're a developer, definitely look into it. It's
okay.
cool.
How can somebody find out about Juno Hack?
Join the Discord. There's a Hack Juno channel, and then just say hi, say I'm interested, and that's it. We also have people that are doing things like making YouTube videos. So you could submit. I could nominate you for Hack Juno. How about that? We have people that are writing documentation and Medium articles about how to stake your Juno, how to use OmniFlix, how to use how to get a wallet, things like that.
No, I got it. So it is an open source, volunteer-run, decentralized, permissionless project. So in that regard, I imagine anybody can come along and just start contributing however they want to contribute for the growth of the
That's great. We've had people that just showed up in the Discord, and now they're just amazing contributors. And they also run validators, and they got a lot of delegations because the community loves them. It's I think it's the strongest thing about Juno, and I think maybe the best thing about it is that we have an amazing community that's organic in a way that these mega VC funded projects like Internet Computer or whatever, that they or Near Protocol, they have Rust smart contracts too, but they don't have an organic genuine community because all the tokens went to big VC investors.
Right. Right. Now I think there's something wonderful about a sort of a decentralized community, volunteer, permissionless project, because it's people get to contribute however they want to contribute, whatever is their own particular self-expression. And it becomes like a cauldron or environment that fosters creativity and innovation that you wouldn't necessarily get with any sort of centralized or hybrid project, not in the same way. And then people do it as a labor of love.
Cheers to that.
All right. Anything else, Jake?
You should also, I would encourage your viewers to check out stargaze.zone.
Stargaze.
It's going to be an NFT marketplace on Cosmos that is going to do a bunch of really awesome, novel, innovative things. And you should go to stargaze.zone and follow them on Twitter and join the waitlist.
Okay, I'll have those links in the description below. And
maybe we can talk about that at a different time. So.
Sure, no problem at all. No problem at all. Okay, so look, everybody who's watching, if you have any comments or questions, put them below the video. Let me know. Give me the ticker symbol for your favorite Cosmos project. And it can be Juno, it can be any other. Just give me any ticker symbol, really, because all your comments help the algorithm, help me fight the algorithm. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come over to Odyssey or BitTube and fight censorship. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto Jake signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.